at them. So,
but it's like people have their different accents from different boroughs, you know, like
now,
just depending on where they grew up.
I wish I would have been able to dictate that. But like,
I can't dictate it. It's just like depending on, you know, like true people, not all the hipsters and fucks that moved to Brooklyn, but people like my sister's boyfriend. Shout out to Ralph. He's a straight up Polak. Is that PC?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyways, he's Polish. And they were big in Brooklyn, but like everybody in Brooklyn, like kind of has their own little accent if they've grown up there. It's a little slick. It's a little sly. It's a little devilish. It's cool.
And I mean, so I was mentioning earlier how you see the range of emotions on every single block and then rinse and repeat. It's the same with like languages. Like, so when I was in fucking France, obviously they could have been speaking 11,000 different languages and I wouldn't have known the difference. But like, it was the same way in New York. Like people would be having a conversation and you take your headphones out or you stop talking to the camera or whatever. And then you just hear conversations from all different, you know, all over the world. You know, it's fucking gnarly.
So one thing we'll get back to food and stuff, but like, I mean, you know, everybody has this preconceived notion that New Yorkers are fucking dicks. Like, not necessarily. Like, you didn't get that vibe, and like, I think it's a common misstereotype. At sometimes it's just there's a lot of shit going on up there, and people got to get to doing what they have to do, and sometimes like. If you bother me on a day when I got a bunch of shit to do, I'm kind of a dick sometimes. It's just life. But, like, in general, people are nice up there.
I couldn't agree more. So I spent the afternoon chilling in a bar. You'll hear about it later, called Upright. And it was a wine bar in the West Village. And the bartender could not have been nicer. The other folks in the bar could not have been nicer. Like, I was like, so where should I go to happy hour? And they're like, ooh, go to employees only down here, down the street, especially since you're an industry guy. Shout out to the crew at employees only, real hip bar. But like, they're not dicks. They're just, you're not a priority on their fucking list. And so as soon as you understand that, then life goes on. Like, a buddy of ours who asked to be not named, so to speak. He had said, dude, Kip, you lived in fucking New Orleans and you didn't get shot and you didn't, you know, get mugged down there. You're not going to get shot or robbed or mugged up here, so you're fine. Just right. You'll live. And so that's kind of how I took it. I was like, yeah, I'm all right. You know, this isn't going to be. And folks, as long as you're not expecting everyone to hold the fucking door for you at Grand Central, you know, like that's the only misconception is like, there's not Southern hospitality, but it's not like everyone's out there to like kick dirt on you if you fall down.
Right. No, people will help you. It's New York. They've got a sense of community up there.
There is, but it may very well be like the boroughs community. Like, you know, like, if you say things like Houston instead of Houston, there's a good chance someone's gonna be like, get out of the fucking way, you goddamn tourist. But yeah, so they're not dicks. Shout out to our friends. And man, do we have a story. And I don't know if the audio is going to work or not. But shout out to Kelly with Fathom Designs. She was a guest that we had on, and we went to a bar.
Oh, yeah, because I was just about to bring up bars. So that was when y'all went and checked out...
We went and hit up the Dead Rabbit and did an interview down there.
So what's Fathom Designs again?
It's just a design company, someone that works, you know, great minds think alike. She was like, I'll show you. You know, it was kind of like getting a tour of the city from someone that was in the city. So we sat and had drinks at what is a world-renowned bar. It's a world top 50 bar. It's called the Dead Rabbit down in, they call it the Fi-Di. I would call it the most expensive part in fucking New York. I mean, God damn it. Those drinks were pricey. But that's the New York I expected. It was like $18 a cocktail. And I was like,
oh, yeah. At the speakeasies, it's going to be that way. Just make sure you never are like, hey, I'll pick up the first round. Because usually at that place, you only do one round. Then you go to a fucking dive bar where it's cheap as fuck.
Yeah, so there are definitely, you can get away with a burger, a fry, and a beer for $10 or get you a whiskey drink for $5, whatever you wanted to do.
People got to live.
But the Dead Rabbit, which is home to like some of the most handcrafted cocktails in America. It's actually an Irish bar, but that's the only accent I got. Fuck, that place is gnarly. And you love it because you appreciate a nice cocktail.
Yeah, it's fun to do.
Yeah. But I was like, well, this isn't going to get me anywhere where I'm like, it's like spitting into the wind. Like, it's not going to give me any buzz. There's a lot of flavor going on, and you really need to be able to appreciate those flavors and things of that nature. Kip did not have that. So it was cool. It was hip. But my favorite bars were the ones like you were mentioning, not necessarily dive bars, but just bars that were like your run-of-the-mill folks, your Uprights, your Employees Only, your Finnerty's, which I think was on the Upper East Side. It was like just a little Yankees bar. It was fucking fun, man. So they're
pretty mad about their sports up there.
It was fucking hilarious.
Like, we think we have big Broncos fans. Like, there's some people up there that, I mean, they've been, generations of their family. Not, granted, that's the same here, but those motherfuckers are into it.
Yeah. So, and I feel like it's the same when you go to Boston, Philly, those towns that it's an older city. So there's like these older, more like these roots that run a little bit deeper. And I'm not knocking our 5th generation Broncos fans. Y'all have seen a level of suck beyond.
Hang in there.
Yeah, keep going. I'm proud of y'all. But yeah, you could definitely tell it there. Whereas we don't have as many natives that stuck around here, probably because us transplants ruined Colorado for them. There, I feel like a lot of people just never fucking leave. So it's like your mom lives 6 blocks away kind of thing. Like we've been coming to this bar for 30 years. There's a lot of those fuckers,
All right, so have we covered the ground up until this Bon Appetit party, or what all do we have left to hit?
I think we hit most of the meals. We hit all of. I used all means of transportation. I hit a pretty sweet ping pong bar for those that like ping pong. I played a fair amount of ping pong while I was there. It was nice getting back to my roots. Really settled in.
Shout out to our boys at Ace here.
Yeah, Ace. And then shout out to our friends at Spin and fucking Strobel for he beat me around a little bit, but that's not a big deal, Friends.
Feeling better about your game?
Yeah, not really.
You need to get out there.
Not really.
No.
Jared, shut up, dude. God, we're trying to film. Sorry, that was the dog.
I really would love a ping pong table in this place.
You think we could get one in the office? I bet we could.
We'd have to rearrange some furniture.
We'd have to get rid of the bar, but I mean the bar takes precedence. We could turn it into like the conference room table. But yeah, so the bar, we checked off food and bar. I hit a steakhouse. I can't remember what it was called. I'll look it up for those that are at home. Had a steak, a potato, a little shrimp, big old salad. Very cliche, just meat and potatoes meal with the boys. And then, so Saturday night was the big event. And so, again, shout out to Kelly, Erica, Sean, Jeb, Tailor, Ryan, all that crew from Wolf's Tailor. They were well represented in Brooklyn. But let's dive into this nitty gritty. So fuck the NG. We hit up Brooklyn. It was in the Industry City, which is a warehouse district, and they had just taken 4 big ass warehouses, and they had turned them into 10 little kiosks, or not kiosks, but booths set up with all of the top 10 restaurants. All the top 10 restaurants across the country. And
so, hold on, was this all under one warehouse, or did you walk?
It was all technically in like one warehouse. You just go in, you just loop through like a doorway, it takes you to a second.
But it's just like a big private thing where people have like parties and shit up there?
It seems so. Like there was bars on, it seemed like just a big ass area. Like
Event center.
Home Team Barbecue was over there. Like there's a bunch of stuff that's coexisting, but part of this is like an event center. Okay. So up there they had that. And then obviously the number one restaurant that everybody was talking about was the pork katsu sandwich from Conby. It's Konbi. They're based out of LA.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so they have an egg salad sandwich and a pork katsu sandwich, which is obviously just fluffy white bread and then thinly sliced and then stacked. Dude, it was good. It was real fucking good. I can see why.
It's kind of like you can see it everywhere now, at like pre-made sandwich places and stuff.
Yeah, it was really fucking good. Okay, so that one, they earned their keep. Like the line wrapped around the wall, and luckily, shout out to Chef Kelly. They hooked it up and got me some tickets so I could get in there and taste them before. But then there were some other restaurants. There was a restaurant out of Dallas called the Cow Noodle Shop. KHAO,
okay.
Which I can't exactly remember what the fuck was in their dish. It was like, it looked like a no frills kind of a snack. Like obviously everybody was doing like bite size, but it seems like it's a meal that wouldn't break the bank and it kind of resonates, which obviously they all kind of go different directions. Some are more upper echelon, nicer restaurants like our Wolf's Tailor, which they won. I think everyone unanimously voted between them and the pork katsu or the egg salad katsu or whatever you want to call it. Those were the 2 best dishes. But the noodle bar did not suck by any fucking means. And then there was a bar out of Virginia, which may have been lost on me, but you would have really appreciated. It was kind of more of a nuance, kind of like literal less is more like almost like a decadent dish, a decadent restaurant. Whereas I'm running around acting like a goddamn fool and just partying my dick off.
Where is this from?
They are based out of like Virginia, Richmond.
Okay.
And so it was more fine dining, kind of more in the echelon of the Wolf's Tailor. But whatever they brought, I mean, it was pretty solid, but it didn't bring the hammer like I would have thought it would have.
Well, it's funny. I feel like it wasn't too long ago, like maybe last year's top 10 when Bon Appetit came out with because they do it every year. But I think I'd heard a podcast about the whole way they do it. And it's kind of like similar to like how Denise, shout out to Denise at 5280, how she does her top 25. But imagine like you're trying to find the top 10 in U.S. Like, how do they cover all this? And it's pretty fascinating what they do. And I think they find...
What is can you break that down? Do you know any?
Like, I know, like, there's, like, a couple people that travel... I forgot, I think you can listen to how they talk about... They'll interview the person who kind of is... They have, like, regions that they travel to, and they're like, we're going to go check out these spots, And then they all just kind of tally it up, and then, they consider a lot of things. So I feel like... Obviously, the event that you went to was them kind of highlighting something that probably like wowed them or was one of their standout or original dishes. But like, I think the overall is just a much bigger process.
Dude, I mean, talk about an epic fucking job. Like, I mean, we know that we've given hell to Denise because it is strenuous and she does take a lot of guff. So,
yeah,
I'm proud of her for what she does, and shout out to our friends on the 5280 list. Imagine having to like, if they're like, I'm sure because Bon Appetit is a world-class magazine, they probably have like regional people that do all of that.
Right.
Imagine if that was your gig, though. It'd be like, oh, you have to travel up and down the PCH all the way, or travel up and down the Pacific Coast from San Diego to fucking Vancouver, finding the best restaurants in America.
Yeah, but it's crazy how they find these too, because like last year I think number one hottest in America was some restaurant in Oklahoma. Like who would have thunked it? And then like, they just cover a range. I think like Annette's been on there from Denver. I don't know. It's just kind of neat how they pick and choose every year. So I bet the party was fucking hopping.
Yeah. Okay. So I forgot about this one restaurant, and I can't remember all 10. So there was a restaurant out in New Orleans. Chef Alex has a new restaurant, the Elysian Bar, which I haven't been. I'll be in New Orleans next month, but I haven't been down there or tried it. They had a line wrapped around the corner as well. So they did, they made their point known, but as we, obviously as Southerners know, they brought, speak softly but carry a big stick. Boy, did they have a big motherfucking stick. That thing, it was really good. And so they have a lot of kind of going on there. Obviously, again, it's a little bit more elegant than me, but I appreciate nice meals. But if you were to ask me break down what was in that, go fuck yourself.
Right.
I don't have a clue. But it was really goddamn good. And so the Elysian, and that one knocked the bottom out of it. They had some other dishes. There was one from New York that was represented. There was one from Nashville. The one from Nashville called Tailor. I think it's okay. It wasn't like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Shout out to our boys at Convy. But it was pretty good. They let you know, and I tried to make a point to hit up the Southern restaurants specifically for that sake. So it was good, and they had a nice line that went around, but it didn't knock my socks off like some of the other ones did. And then, of course, obviously I'm a little bit biased, but Kelly's, the line for Kelly's. So Kelly was in the room too. They split them up 1 through 5, 6 through 10. Kelly's booth wrapped around the motherfucking corner and like out through the door. Like more people were lined up. They had a pork and almost like a pulled pork tossed in a bunch of seasons, and then a little rice on the side to kind of help get it all down. And it was more than just like a bite. You used a small fork. Whoo, boys. Whoo, boys.
Did they bring a dessert up there? Because their dessert game's on point.
Theirs is, but because everybody only specialized in one dish, we did not see like a red miso panna cotta. Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, just their desserts are really good.
And then they have that caramel thing.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not here to suck Kelly and the Wolf's Tailor dick, so we'll continue on. There was a restaurant that was very no frills, very casual, out of Portland. Something Taco Bar, either Matt's or Mike's Taco Bar.
those guys party. Those guys fucking party. The food was good, and boy, do they party. They have a good time. So